Hello, phenomenal humans of the interwebs. Welcome to eSpot Live. My name, as always, is Ellie, and I am joined, again as always, by my illustrious assistant slash emotional support duck named Rodney. Rodney in particular says hello today. Alright, so, starting with disclaimers, as per usual. I'm trying something new today. If I pressed the button correctly, which is a very big if. It's me we're talking about. If I press the button correctly, this should be streaming to Twitch as well as YouTube, which is an exciting new adventure for me. Yay! We've been trying to work this out for a little bit, and it hopefully is working. But it's newish for me, at least. So if something goes wonky with the stream, as always, please let me know. If I don't know, like, get distracted trying to toggle between, like, chats or figuring something out or whatever, then I beg your patience and also let me know. So yeah, super exciting stuff. That's the biggest disclaimer because if you are a regular viewer, you know that sometimes my system gets a bit wonky. So, not entirely sure what streaming to an additional service is going to I don't know what it's going to do to me. But I'm excited to find out, which sounds awkward when I play it back, but we're just going to ignore that. Yeah, I think that's most of what I have for disclaimers. Also, it's the holidays. It's a Monday and it's the beginning of kind of, well, not really the beginning, it's been the holiday season for a little while. I don't quite know how that works, except everything apparently is released in video game worlds in the holiday season. That's what I know. Anyways, while I was preparing for today's stream, I realized I don't really own anything festive, like, at all for really any holiday, which is a little bit sad, because I do enjoy the holidays. Penimental saying today's winter solstice. I didn't even know that. Happy winter solstice. Pretty cool stuff. I gotta get a handle on the holidays, man. I don't know anything. I found one thing. Well, aside from my green shirt, which isn't really festive because I wear it anyways. It's just a shirt. But it's green, which, you know, that's winter-y, according to pop culture, right? Also, though, I found candy cane earrings. So, I don't know if you can see them or not. That's it. That's what I got for festivities. But this is happy holiday stream. Yay. Happy Monday, happy holiday, happy winter solstice. That's super exciting. So, yeah, that's all I got for you, for disclaimers and everything else. Thank you, Penimental, saying it's cute. I'm assuming it's my earrings. I think so. Everything seems to be running smoothly, and I feel like the longer I talk about, like, being afraid everything's gonna go wrong, the more likely it will. So, I think if there's nothing else, I'm gonna jump straight into newsy stuffs. So yeah, just kind of a refresher, I suppose, since I'm streaming to a new streaming service as well. This is eSpot Live. I'm Ellie. I ramble about newsy stuffs in the entertainment industry. Welcome. So yeah, jumping right in to the ramblings. First up, let's talk about Space Force. Gotta say, this is not something that I've really ever thought would be a thing to talk about. Space Force. There's so many emotions involved in that. The primary one being, like, why, if that's an emotion? Anyways, moving right along before I dig myself into a hole. The official announcement here is that on Friday, Vice President Mike Pence celebrated the 1-year anniversary of Donald Trump's new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces, known as the Space Force, and celebrated it by announcing that there's an official name for members of the Space Force. So, those serving in the Navy are known as sailors. Those in the Army, known as soldiers. Every one of the forces or branches of our military have a title. Henceforth, the members of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians. I gotta say, I thought this was a joke at first. I thought it was a joke when it was first announced too. I don't know if that makes me a terrible person. That I thought it was like genuinely like an entertainment, funny either joke or like a I don't know, collaboration with a TV show or something, which kind of is because, you know, Space Force on Netflix is hilarious. Anyways, but yeah, no, Space Force is an actual branch-ish, sub-branch, I guess, of the U.S. military, and those serving in the Space Force are Guardians. Where this intersects with entertainment news is the public's response, as well as James Gunn's response. So while the official Twitter and everything else is taking this very, very seriously, the rest of the world doesn't really seem to be, which, again, I don't know if this makes me a terrible person, because I'm clearly not either. But for those of you who don't know where I'm going with this, there's this little tiny movie nobody's ever heard of called Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's not just a movie, obviously, it's a comic legend as well. But the name's not exactly, you know, original per se. So while the the official statement says that this has been a year-long process that produced hundreds of submissions and research involving space professionals and members of the general public, I'm a little curious if the members of the general public were trolling. Who knows? But they, after a year of deep consideration, they've come up with the new designation. The official statement says, Guardians is a name with a long history in space operations, tracing back to the original command motto of Air Force Space Command in 1983, Guardians of the High Frontier. This announcement drew a very quick reaction from Guardians of the Galaxy fans, as well as Star Trek fans, for the record, who thought, you know, maybe there was a more recent inspiration. And people have been just getting really excited about this, asking if the mascot can be Groot. Space Force, in fact, became top trending term on Twitter after this, followed directly by Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, and Star Trek. The director himself, James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, jumped into the Twitter clusterfluff and wrote apparently about Pence, not officially. Anyways, he's quoted saying, "Can we sue this dork?" Many people have also been maintaining that the Space Force emblem, which was unveiled last summer, was a ripoff of another beloved sci-fi franchise, Star Trek. So one Twitter user is quoted as saying, "It took you a year to come up with a Star Trek logo and a Marvel name." Someone else said, "Was your backup the Go-Go Gadget Galactics or something?" There is official literature, and according to the official Space Force literature, the logo is a delta symbol, first used in 1961, which, in their defense, was before Star Trek came out, by about 5 years. The delta symbol honors the heritage of the U.S. Air Force and Space Command, explains the official statement. The outer silver border of the logo signifies defense and protection from all adversaries and threats emanating from the space domain. The black inner border embodies the vast darkness of deep space. The Space Force motto is Semper Supra, or always above, and according to Pence, President Trump is its founder. Yeah. So that's the official announcement. If, you know, the government officials know more than I do about impending alien attacks. I don't know what to say that would not dig myself a very deep hole. Other than the fact that I am just highly amused. Entertainment world is jumping right on this. So yeah, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in my my rabbit hole. Guardians to other things. So, fun stuff. Pandamental says, I wonder how, is that Bungie? Bungie feels about the name. Their MMO shooter game Destiny is space, like Guardians. The name Guardians has been connected to space, apparently, in like just regular, actual governmental use, but also just within sci-fi literature. I feel like it's been a common theme for a long time. And frankly, sci-fi is more popular than official government literature. So anybody hearing this is going to jump straight into their favorite sci-fi. Which, I don't know, maybe that's the intention. Maybe it was like to popularize the idea. I have no clue what studies they did over the course of a year to make them decide that Guardians was the best name. I wasn't in the room. But it's what happened. It's official on very not millennial, which, frankly, again, if you've ever watched one of these before, you know I kind of suck at being a millennial. Anywho, moving right along. Into a bit more somber news. So just kind of a moment, because I don't want to take this next topic lightly. But I'm still kind of in the back of my head amused over the first topic. Anyways, okay, so in all honesty, I am sad to announce the passing of the original Boba Fett actor named Jeremy Bullock. This is not necessarily brand new news, so you have probably heard it, but we at Devious Eye wanted to also pay homage to a legend, really. So Jeremy Bullock, the actor, again, played the original Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi. He passed away at age 75. Bullock has been deeply, just immensely respected and adored figure in the international Star Wars community for decades. He frequently appeared at conventions, fan events, meet and greets. He was known for meeting and encouraging people who fell in love with his iconic bounty hunter. Very, very involved in the Star Wars community. Very, very respected. When he first took on the role of this minor role, really, of the armored bounty hunter in 1980, no one really could have possibly foreseen the massive impact he would have. It started off as such a small thing, but he's one of the most iconic Star Wars characters, really. And the status has just kind of continued to be strengthened, especially with the character's return on The Mandalorian. So there's so much fandom history there. There's so much fandom love for this character, would cling to, in a really awesome way. And the fact that the actor kind of really supported that and met fans halfway and was really, really just involved in the community, is such an amazing thing. And we are deeply saddened by his passing. Not just known for playing Boba Fett, his career stretched just through dozens of other film and TV appearances, from James Bond to Doctor Who. He's been everywhere. Whatever the genre, whatever the role, he left an impressive legacy. He's touched millions of people. Daniel Logan, who played a young version of Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, posted a heartfelt, all-caps tribute on his Instagram in the wake of Bullock's passing, saying, "It brings me to tears to announce Jeremy Bullock has passed away. R.I.P. Legend. I'll never forget all you've taught me. I'll love you forever. Conventions will never be the same without you. May the Force be with you always." Logan is just one of numerous friends, fans, admirers, former colleagues, all of the above, who have paid homage to Bullock and his career in the wake of the tragic news. Also, his passing comes just weeks after the death of David Prowse, the man who played Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy. Interesting that both stars became absolute legends through their incredible physical performances, because for both of them, their faces were masked the whole time they were on screen. Like Bullock, Prowse was also a veteran of the fan tour circuit. Both men continued to proudly uphold the legacy of their characters late into their lives. So, as we mourn the passing of these incredible actors, it's really cool to see their characters' legends and legacies live on. Boba Fett's return in The Mandalorian, played by Temuera Morrison, has really returned the character to the forefront of just the Star Wars fandom's love, giving them this primary role in a modern series. And this never would have happened without the original portrayal and just the love fans have expressed for Boba Fett over the years. which again comes from the iconic performance. So everyone here at DVSI Entertainment are saddened by the loss and send well wishes to Bullock's family, loved ones, friends. The world has truly lost an icon. That's all I really have to say on that topic. So, moving right along. Still not very good at transitions. One day. So this is actually exciting news. Okay, so quick side note, because it's me, and I always do quick side notes, and by quick, I mean I babble. The only thing harder than a regular transition is transitioning between, like, emotionally different topics. Anyways, okay, that's it. This was pretty exciting, because now you can watch anime on the Nintendo Switch. Woo! Funimation has officially launched, and is also the only anime streaming app on Nintendo Switch. This follows a cryptic tease where Funimation first indicated a collaboration with Nintendo Switch console, and then they officially brought the anime streaming app to the console beginning last Tuesday, December 15th. It is available for fans in the United States and Canada, and there are plans to expand it to the UK, Ireland, Mexico, and more countries in the months to follow. According to Funimation's official press release, this is going to make it the only anime app on the console. Chief Product Officer at Funimation, Khalil Roberts, said the following about the announcement. We will always go where the community wants their anime, and Funimation is 100% committed to listening to and servicing fans on every platform. When Nintendo Switch was a possibility in front of us, we were a resounding absolutely with the opportunity to further serve fans. They're super excited about this. Fans are super excited about this. It's a great collaboration. There's been a lot going on with Funimation. As I talked about before, they recently acquired Crunchyroll. There's some big stuff coming. Funimation, now that they're on Nintendo Switch, is available on all current generation gaming consoles once following its launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. It's just, like I said, been a huge month for them. Good for them. They're doing well. So yeah, with this acquisition in place, as well as the launch of the app, Nintendo Switch fans are going to be able to check out a massive library of anime on the go alongside their library of games. So, if you have Nintendo Switch, congratulations. This is awesome news. I mean, I suppose if you're like a fan of anime and have a Nintendo Switch. Frankly, even if you're not, give it a shot. This is cool news. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that one. Moving right along. Also exciting news. Riot has announced a League of Legends MMO. Finally! Alright, so, Riot Games is recruiting for a massive new game project, which we learned will be an MMA. That's something else. MMO set in League of Legends Runeterra universe. The company's VP of IP and Entertainment, Greg Street, nonchalantly confirmed it on Twitter last week. He's quoted as saying, "My recent job at Riot has been to help develop the League universe, which we're going to need because it is time. My new job is to kick off a big, some might say massive game that many of you and many Rioters have been asking us to create." When asked bluntly whether the game is an MMO, Street replied, "It is an MMO." Following this tweet from Street, Riot Games PR provided the following response. "Greg's tweet is our only official statement at this time. I can confirm that he will be working on a massively multiplayer online role-playing game." So yeah, it's been officially announced. Possibly accidentally, but it's still official. It's been official, confirmed by PR. Riot's making an MMO. Not an MMA, because that's mixed martial arts. Anyways. Yeah, so to say that League fans have been asking for an MMO is a little bit of an understatement. They've been begging. They've been begging and demanding this for years, and instead of MMOs, they've received League of Legends Runeterra, League of Legends Wild Rift, and League of Legends Esport Manager. Everything else, essentially. As well as the non-Runeterra FPS Valorant. Why did my brain stop wording? We don't know. Anyways, all that to say, it's about time, which is super exciting. Though it's worth noting that MMOs are massive undertakings. This was also quoted by Riot CEO Mark Merrill. He talked about that, but last year, that it's just, even if you're rolling in cash, even if you have the resources to make it, it's a massive project. Last year he's quoted as saying, "I would love to make an MMO, but just to manage expectations, if we were to do something like that, it wouldn't be anytime soon." And then he added also that shipping an MMO is like shipping a freaking rocket. It's so much work, it's so hard to do, and we would really try to do it justice, and that's not easy. So details are obviously very thin right now, as, like I said, the only official statement has been that confirmation that it's happening and that they're hiring for it. But, again, worth noting, if they're hiring for it, it's a long ways off. That's like pre-production. They're trying to hire people to build it, so it's gonna take a long time. But it's still super exciting news for people who have been like asking for this and looking forward to it for so long. So I mean, if you make video games, go check that out. Riot is hiring, but it's super exciting. Like I said, very long way out, but still worth following. So obviously, if there's any more news on this, we'll be sharing it with you guys here on eSpot Live. But yeah, super exciting stuff. I went ahead and distracted myself there. It's time for our regularly scheduled hydration break. Woo! I will hype this up until my dying breath. I don't even know why, but this is the hill that I'll die on. Drink water. It's important. It's important for your kidneys. I learned that the hard way, guys. Water. Every time I say this, somebody comes out with different things like chalky milk, Generaxi, and Panamental, because both of you now, it's like a team up thing. No. It's lovely, it's good, it's awesome. Drink it, fine. But water. You need water. Especially if you're not feeling well. So, you know exactly who I'm talking to. Water. There we go. Without further ado. And mostly proud of myself for not dumping water all over the place. Not related to anything except me being me. I have inner ear issues, so sometimes my balance and coordination just kind of randomly go off. So I miss my mouth. But we're good. We're good. I fixed it. Things are fine. I'm not covered in water. Yay. And I am hydrated, which is important. Okay, off my high horse, which isn't really Yeah, I'm overthinking that. Moving right along, back to newsy stuffs, and also back to Star Wars, because why not? That's a good transition, right? No, it's fine. Alright. This topic's a bit of a bummer. I'm disappointed. So Star Wars authors, specifically of, like, authors of the novelization of for the franchise and everything else, have come out and formally accused Disney of withholding royalty payments. So, to go into this a little more detail, royalty payments are how authors get paid. And, apparently, when Disney bought out the franchise, hey, we've got Josh the Lego Dude in the chat. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, so when Disney bought out the Star Wars franchise back in 2012, allegedly, they cut off royalty payments for all of the Star Wars authors. Specifically, somebody who's brought it up, Alan Dean Foster, who's a prolific Star Wars adapter. He's written novelizations for the franchise since 17. Wow, yeah, way back in the 1700s. Since 1976. When he first adapted Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, at George Lucas's personal request. The author's gone on to write several novelizations of the Star Wars universe. This includes 1978's Splinter of the Mind's Eye, a sequel to the original film, 2002's The Approaching Storm, which is set prior to the events of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Most recently, Foster wrote the movie novelization of Star Wars The Force Awakens in 2015. Foster was approached by Shelley Shapiro of Del Rey Books to adapt the film. The author was given access to the screenplay, as well as stills of the characters and the set in order to write it. That book became a #1 New York Times bestseller once it released. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, Foster alleges that, again, after Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, the royalty checks for his novels just stopped coming in. He's not the only one. Authors of other novelizations of other properties, even, including Indiana Jones, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, etc., also say that the royalty checks stopped coming in. Foster says that Disney has asked him to sign a non-disclosure agreement in order for the company to speak with him. So that's a sign that things will be fixed. Here's to hoping. But yeah, the company now... This company, Disney, owns the rights to novelizations he wrote of the Alien season as well after their acquisition of 20th Century Fox, for which he says they've also not paid him. So it sounds as if paying authors have kind of fallen through the cracks a little bit. And granted, in a massive company like that, things can fall through the cracks. The contracts that are in place can get buried when things are passed over, etc. So it's not even necessarily the fact that, you know, it happened to begin with, but the fact that somebody's having to come to Wall Street Journal to make a formal allegation in order to get the attention needed to have a conversation to right the situation, that's a little bit disappointing, not gonna lie. Josh says, Disney is literally the worst company on earth. I will not have an opinion on that, but this, again, it's disappointing. It's not like they don't have the funds. But yeah, and these books have really helped out the franchise. Like, the Star Wars universe is freaking massive. I haven't read any of the books myself, but I know people who have, who are like, I adore how much they adore the series. My sister is a person that I look up to with everything in me, and she's a massive Star Wars nerd, and it just makes my heart so happy because I learn from her. Anyways, so yeah, personally knowing people who have consumed these books and loved these books, and like knowing how much they add to the Star Wars universe, this is just really, really disappointing news. I'm disappointed in Disney. It's been, 8 years now since Lucasfilms was acquired by Disney, so it feels like it really shouldn't have been this difficult to rectify the situation. Like I said, I'm not even mad that it happened in the first place, because like I said, that was a lot of like I said. Anyways, like I said, contracts get buried and stuff can go wrong, and you have this massive company that did not have this branch that now has a branch of novelizations, etc. Fine. But 8 years of missing royalties is kind of a big deal, especially if you're a professional author. That's literally how professional authors live. They don't make salaries, they make royalties. Heyo. So, yeah, I mean, now that the withholding of royalty checks has been brought to light, officially and publicly, here's to hoping that it's easy to ensure that Foster, as well as all of the other authors who have come forward, receive the money that they are due. It really does feel like Disney's needlessly complicating the process when it should be really straightforward, but I don't know. Again, I wasn't in the room. I don't know the intricacies of companies buying royalty payments, buying whatever else, but still. Considering that many of the novelizations of Star Wars operate in tandem with the ongoing films and television series, it really should be a no-brainer to pay the authors what they're owed. Especially with it, just considering the Star Wars universe, the novels are so integral. It's so important to the universe, to expanding it, to the lore, to everything else. They're important. And you have to value the creators of what is important to your franchise. You just do. So, Nuke says, "Hey Ellie, hello Nuke. Welcome. Good to see more people in the chat. This makes me happy." So yeah, that's all I have for again saying I am disappointed in Disney. I'll leave the harsher judgments in the chat. Feel free. Oh, it's Angie. Hi. I always forget names that aren't that. I forget who's who with the names that aren't what the names are written. I try. Sorry. But yes. Hi. Alright. I am all over the place today. It's a great day. Moving right along. Next topic. Oh, Josh the Lego Dude says, I'm Josh, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then Angie's adding us to the auto host list. Woo! Thank you. This is chat's picking up. This is exciting. I'm also allowing myself to get distracted, so I'm gonna try to focus. We'll see. Chat's always fun though, so I prioritize that. Also, I mentioned early on that I'm trying something new with streaming, so I am checking another stream chat to see if I'm missing anything. I don't think I am though, so we're good. All right. Moving right along, the next thing that I have to chat about in entertainment news is for fans of Stranger Things. For those of you who have been missing the show and really looking forward to season 4, unsure of when it could possibly hit your Netflix account, I don't have news on that. However, I do have something to tide you over because the cast of Stranger Things has gotten together to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and you can now watch the whole thing, which is super, super fun. Y'all know I'm a fan of D&D. So, yeah, no, this is great. The Netflix show Stranger Things, if you have not heard of it, I don't know how, but congratulations. It was an overnight success when it premiered in 2016. It really is a perfect combination of 80s nostalgia and Spielbergian adventures, which helped it become really one of Netflix's most popular original shows, if not the most popular. Starring Noah Schnapp, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, David Harbour, and others. The show followed a group of preteens in Hawkins, Indiana, as they investigate the mysterious disappearance of their friend and D&D teammate, Will Byers, played by Schnapp. Season 3 was premiered. I don't know why I lost the ability to English like a human. I apologize. Words are hard, and enunciation is harder. Anywho, Season 3 came out back in July of 2019, and the show has since then suffered a series of setbacks, unfortunately, on its way towards the Season 4 premiere. a lot of shows have suffered setbacks this year, very unfortunately. The pandemic obviously impacted and ended up shutting down filming earlier this year. So while they were originally aiming for an early 2021 release, it has been delayed, and it's now unknown when the next series will premiere. Production has resumed in the fall, allegedly, but again, there's still no word on when the season 4 will officially hit the streaming service. So, to tide fans over the holidays, and yeah, just to give you a little bit of a taste. The cast reunited virtually in order to play a game of D&D on the Stranger Things YouTube channel. It's just a little Christmas present for fans who have been just really looking forward to and itching for this new season. The game features cast members Harbour, Wolfhard, Gaten Matarazzo. Why can't I word? As well as Natalia Dyer. In the game, called Lost Odyssey, Toy Time for 10 Towns, Harbour is playing Kenny Kaboom, Wolfhard is Sylvester the Wise, Matarazzo is Meryl Streep, and Dyer is Jinx. Chris Perkins, a principal game designer for Dungeons & Dragons, presides as the Game Master. The video is a little treat. Again, for anyone who's been really looking forward to Season 4, check it out. If you're a fan of D&D, check it out anyways. Yeah, it's super fun. It's also really good timing with, also there's a film adaptation of Dungeons & Dragons starring Chris Pine in the works, so it's really the perfect time to hype up both D&D itself as well as Stranger Things, right? It's a nice callback to the season 1 of Stranger Things, as the show opens with the core group of Wolfhard, Schnapp, Matarazzo, and Caleb McLaughlin playing a game of D&D, which the game hints at season 1's primary villain, the Demogorgon, and the fateful night eventually leads to the disappearance of Will Byers, which is really the driving force of the entire first season's plot. Hey-o. So yeah, great timing for it, super fun stuff, really exciting. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, check it out. If you are a fan of D&D, check it out. If you want to support people in the holidays while everybody's in a pandemic and unsure of when, filming can happen, check it out. It's just worth it. There you go. Moving right along. Shigeru Miyamoto has done an interview talking about his career, his family, and many other things, which is super exciting. Again, that was a really bad transition because it kind of sounded like I was talking about the same topic, and this is a completely different topic, but hey-o. Rewinding a little bit. Shigeru Miyamoto is best known for his work in creating beloved Nintendo series like Mario, The Legend of Zelda, as well as Donkey Kong. He was recently interviewed in order to discuss his career, how he's viewed as a boss, how he makes time for his family, and what his goals are as just kind of a human and creator. There's just a lot of really cool things, little tidbits about who he is as a person in that interview that I wanted to chat a little bit about. He really touched on many aspects of his life since joining Nintendo as a 24-year-old way back in 1977. At the time that he joined, Nintendo really wanted to capture the success that Atari was experiencing, and really hoped to expand into the world of video games, which is really crazy to think about. Because for me, Nintendo, specifically things like Mario and Donkey Kong and everything, this is like the foundation of video games, right? So yeah, he's got information way back in the beginning of how it all started, how Miyamoto and the team took on the challenge, and then in 1981, Donkey Kong was the result. Since then, Nintendo has sold hundreds of millions of games and hardware and everything else, and with the Switch currently leading the way, there is absolutely no sign of stopping. They are on a roll. In the interview, he began by talking about how Nintendo's headquarters are not quite what you'd think. They're not very extravagant. It's not really attention grabbing. He explained the outside is very simple and clean. And he's quoted as saying, "Some people have likened the reception area to a hospital waiting room. It's kind of serene. Frankly, I don't know what hospital waiting rooms are like in Japan, but I would not describe a hospital waiting room as serene in my limited experience. So I'm assuming, it's a little bit of a different scene there. But when you go in, he mentions that while staff is welcome to bring any toys, action figures, etc., Nintendo has a system that has its designers switching desks depending on what project they're working on, so people don't usually have a lot of personal belongings around them. He says, I think if a child were to visit and look around, they might find it a bit boring. But the unique creative experience really takes place within each person, so it's not necessarily something that you see in the environment. So that's interesting little sneak peek into the world of Nintendo, specifically at the headquarters. He talked about, like, they have all the equipment that they need. They have the motion capture studios, sound studios, well-lit cafeteria, all important things, good food. But the space in and of itself is just really unassuming, which I think is kind of cool. The interview goes on to talk about his just kind of status as a creator. Someone following the Super Mario Bros. Worldwide success, someone told Miyamoto that he had reached the status of Walt Disney, but he was quick to point out that at the time, Super Mario Bros. Had only been out for a few years, whereas Mickey had been around for more than 50. So for Miyamoto himself, success is intrinsically tied to whether or not it's something is sought several decades after its creation. So looking at Mario now, looking at things like Donkey Kong now, I think it's safe to say that it's got a lasting legacy, which is super cool. He goes on to talk about his relationship with his kids. He calls himself a very normal dad, that work doesn't necessarily come home with him, and that his children don't necessarily care too much about what he does for a living. He also specifically mentioned that his kids play Sega as well as Nintendo. And when asked if it makes him jealous, he said no, that it just really inspires him to continue creating bigger and better things to make his games their favorite. Which I kind of love. So yeah, just a really kind of chill, very humble individual. Brilliant mind. My goodness. But so kind of humble about it. He talked a bit about his relationship with his employees and says that a lot of people around him might describe him as very kind. However, he thinks that the people who work directly with him probably would have a slightly different opinion, just because he's a bit of a stickler for detail, and is known for really pushing his employees to do better. But that doesn't necessarily make him any less kind. And then specifically when asked about his legacy and what he wishes he could contribute to the world at large, he discussed how a little empathy could go a long way, and how he wishes that... He's quoted as saying specifically, "I wish I could make it so that people were more thoughtful and kind toward each other. It's something I think about a lot as I move through life." I think that's super admirable. He just says, I wish we're all a little more compassionate in these small ways. He goes on to talk a little bit in connection about his perspective of shooter games, which I found fascinating. I love and adore storytelling, and I've always kind of wondered about different perspectives, and that's something that he brings up too. He's like, in a lot of first-person shooters, all you see is one perspective. And he brought up how interesting it would be to kind of see that shifted, separate perspective of the people on the other end of the gun, Like, and he brought up, for instance, in like a space battle, you see a ship go down, and it's like this, symbol of success. But what happens if you pan over and show the perspective of the people going down with the ship? Just show the humanity of it, and how that might shift people's perspectives and demonstrate... if empathy is the right word, just that, that relationship, that humanity across all ends. He doesn't necessarily think it's terrible that certain studios do focus on shooting. but he thinks that it's, quote, not ideal to have everybody doing it just because that's the kind of game that sells well. He also really pushed back against the idea that every monster needs to be killed. And he says even monsters have a motive and a reason for why they are the way that they are. This is something I've thought about a lot. I absolutely adore that perspective, and I really, really hope that that kind of branches out. And it kind of has to a certain extent. When you think about like the Mario world, there's tidbits where you you see motive from the villains' perspectives and everything else. But it'll be interesting. It would be interesting to see that on a more traditional, say, first-person shooter game, where you kind of make decisions throughout the game and then maybe see the whole thing from the perspective of the people you're hunting. It'd be a fascinating thing. Did the interviewer ask him about the Undertale? I don't believe that came up in this particular interview. That was a question by Josh in the chat. But really, it's just a fascinating interview. He wants to create a kinder world. He's a very humble dude. Again, brilliant mind. I love just learning more about people like this, and I love his perspective. So, really excited to see kind of what the next step is. He did mention that with his role in Nintendo, he's kind of looking for... his focus is more... moving towards a position that will ensure the spirit of Nintendo is passed down successfully, which allows him to continue to focus on discovering the new and bringing smiles to the faces of millions in the world. So, super exciting stuff. I'm always excited to see what Nintendo's coming out with, because really, just games in general are always fun. I love storytelling, and finding new ways to tell stories is just fun. So yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. Cold dude. That was awkward. Okay, moving right along. Completely unrelated to anything, but still kind of exciting. Mr. Beast has announced plans to expand Mr. Beast burger restaurants. Woohoo! Random, but super fun. So yesterday the internet was absolutely humming with anticipation about the food and at Mr. Beast Burger and where they could get it. Beast also dropped a YouTube video explaining a $10,000 cash prize at a location. This is a brand new adventure for streaming celebrity, and people really didn't see it coming, which is super fun. There's already 300 locations in the US. That was a real thing. Yes, real thing. There's 300 locations in the US. And then he plans on opening more after the fan outcry on social media. So if you look at the map posted, there's a ton of love for California, New York City, the East Coast, but not really much in the middle. Oh, G-Man says, I saw it on my local DoorDash, thought it was fake. Order it and let me know. Oh my goodness. Definitely. Apparently people are loving it. And he's expressed again a desire to expand even further. So yeah, on Twitter he said, I just launched 300 restaurants nationwide. Just go on your favorite delivery app and order a Mr. Beast burger. We've been working on this forever and I'm so excited. The menu includes the Beast style burger with house sauce, American cheese, normal elements like lettuce and tomato, of course. The YouTube star also included a Nashville hot chicken sandwich for those not big on beef. And if you're looking for a little spice. So, also, if you're not into meat at all, if you're a vegetarian, there's a grilled cheese option. Woo! Yeah, couple all that with some dessert. There's chocolate chip cookies, maybe chicken tenders. There's a lot to love. I am super curious now, though, G-Man. You can't just post that you see it on your DoorDash and then not say anything. That's super fun. Alright, G-Man says, ordering now. We'll report back Thursday if it doesn't get here fast enough, or next Monday if you're off Thursday. Thank you for that transition. Yeah, I don't think that it's gonna... I'm gonna be on long enough, because this is really all of the newsy stuffs I have to chat about today. That's all she wrote. So yeah, anyways, worth noting, since G-Man brought it up, I will not be here on Thursday. Thursday is Christmas Eve, which I didn't realize until somebody on my team pointed it out today. And I will be celebrating, so I will not be able to join you guys for eSpot Live. So this is my Christmas special, which I kind of talked a little bit about at the beginning. I'm wearing green, guys. That's as festive as I can possibly get. Also, again, I'll point out my fancy candy cane earrings, because it's literally the only festive thing that I own. So yeah, this is it. This is the pre-Christmas Merry episode, because that's how life works. So again, just to repeat a little bit more concisely, because I'm babbling as usual. There will be no eSpot Live on Thursday because it is Christmas Eve. So enjoy your holidays, and I will definitely be back the following Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as usual. G-Man says, oof, Pepsi only. I'm assuming that's at Mr. Beast Burgers. That's hilarious, because if you have not been here for a chat before, G-Man's made it clear that he's a fan of Coke. Anywho, yeah, this is all I really have for today's episode of eSpot Live. No more newsy stuffs. I just want to say, on behalf of DVSI Entertainment at large, we are so grateful for just all of your continued support. We're super excited for everything coming, especially within the new year. We've got plans, guys, so if you have not already, please follow us across social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, obviously. We are on Discord as well, and we're really trying to build up this community because we've got just so much in store. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel anytime recently, we've got multiple shows that have launched there, and there's been a bit of a hiatus because, like everyone else in this industry, we were a bit put back on a lot of things by the pandemic. However, we've got, again, plans. Things are relaunching, new shows are launching, so make sure you check out our YouTube channel. Yeah, check us out on YouTube. Also, Steam. If you have not been to Steam yet, we have a game DVSI Entertainment has put out called Awoken, Chapter 1 of Reverie. The game available for purchase is a prequel of sorts. It's our early access version, and it's just the very, very beginning. Like all new ventures, it hasn't been a perfectly smooth launch. It's the first video game we've ever launched, and we're working on making it the best we can, and we've put out some really, really cool updates. So if you checked it out before, we're kind of like, check it out again, because we're working on it, and it's getting better, and it's awesome, and I've seen what's in store for the future, and guys, this is super exciting. So check out Awoken on Steam while you're checking out all the other social media, because you love us. Also, super important, and I almost forgot, while I will not be here on Christmas Eve, Paul will. There will be an episode of A Recipe for Murder on Thursday, normal time, so that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not familiar or haven't quite checked out Recipe for Murder yet, it's an amazing show run by Paul, where he literally just chats about murder while cooking dinner. So yes, there will be a Christmas Eve special. Oh, we've got John in the chat. Hello. Are you lurking, apparently? And I'm not saying that to be mean, like he actually put lurk. G-Man and Angie are chatting about what kinds of fries to get. Should I get it with beast fries or normal seasoned fries? The beast fries are like animal fries on steroids. Beast fries? Yeah, I agree with Angie there. Duh. Oh, see, now I kind of want to just keep babbling until G-Man gets his food. Dang it, I should have brought this topic up earlier. I don't know if I don't have any more topics to talk about. Though I'm allowed to interact with the chat, so just saying, if the chat keeps going, I don't think I'll get in trouble if I keep babbling. Hey, no, I won't, because my team is awesome. So yeah, I'm like running out of things to talk about. So, oh, there's an add chopped beef option. Wait, to the fries. There's an add chopped beef option to the fries. I need clarification on this. This is, again, going on in the chat. Which, okay, can I also just gush for a second while I kind of excitedly go over some of the changes that have been made to eSpot Live. I am so excited that the chat is visible on the screen now. This has been a thing since the beginning. And I'm glad it's working. So I got used to kind of like reading things out and specifying, but like it's visible now. And then G-Man did specify, yes, the chopped beef is for the fries. The beast fries are beastly. I approve. You know what, since I'm kind of like rambling a little bit about the new stuff that we're doing, as I mentioned at the very beginning, today is a new day for eSpot Live because I'm trying a new thing where I'm streaming both to Twitch and YouTube at the same exact time, and I don't know how it's working. So if anybody's watching this on YouTube, let me know. Angie's peacing out. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy winter solstice, and I'll see you on Monday. So yeah, thank you. And I should probably honestly sign out unless somebody does have something to say about YouTube. I'll stay on for a little longer to try to figure that out. But again, I'm kind of just running out of things to babble about. So I look forward to hearing G-Man's update. If anyone else lives in an area that has Mr. Beast's burger, order it and let me know because I'm super curious. G-Man says, wait, YouTube? Yes, YouTube. There's a button and I pressed it. And so if I did that correctly, this should also be streaming live to YouTube, hypothetically speaking. But this is also the first time I've tried to do this. So, question mark? But that's the theory, is that this is on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll find out if it worked real soon, huh? Oh, wait, there it is. John says hi from YouTube. It's working. Okay, that's awesome, and thank you for that, because now I know how the chat works. Oh, that's fancy. Okay, cool. Thank you, John. That's actually super helpful, because that answered, like, 10 of my questions in my head. So J-Man submitted his order. Alas, I don't think I can pull off chatting for what would probably be an hour to wait for it. But again, I look forward to this update on Monday. John is messaging in the chat from YouTube, and it's working. Heyo! So that means the stream is working as well as the chat feature. This is so exciting. Happy early Christmas to me. Yay. All right. I just want to thank you guys for putting up with my shenanigans as always. Thank you guys for joining me for this very, very special / very kind of regular episode of eSpot Live. Where I babbled about newsy stuffs and I tried new things. And yeah, G-Man's burger is gonna take 45 to 55 minutes. So, alas, I shall not be able to wait around for that. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. The purpose of eSpot Live, as always, is to just kind of build up a community. You know, we have eSpot, which is an amazing show. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's on YouTube. That's a bit more of an organized version of what I do, where we talk to you guys about entertainment news. But the reason that I do this and I do it live is so I can connect with you guys and build community, because y'all are awesome. And we really, really want that feedback always. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are what makes this happen, and I appreciate you beyond words. Real quick before I sign off, just catching up in the chat. John's asking if anyone sees the Star of Bethlehem tonight, or saw it, or is going to see it. Is that the overlapping planets that's supposed to be really bright? G-Man says it's too cloudy. I cannot stargaze where I live. Can't see anything, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is what I mean though. Having conversations like this in the chat is appreciated. Okay, I feel like I have stalled long enough, alas. So thank you. Happy all of the holidays, whatever you celebrate. Even if you don't, happy week, you know? I'm grateful for you guys. You guys are my Christmas present. With that being said, just stay safe. Have the happiest of happy holidays from all of us at Devious Eye Entertainment. Check out A Recipe for Murder on Thursday, Christmas Eve, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will not be here, but that's okay, because I will see you guys next Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. if you live on the other coast. And, yeah, in the meantime, have an awesome week. Make sure you're staying safe in all of the crazy. Make sure you're staying hydrated with water, because that is just my thing that I will always harp on you guys about. It's because I love you. Make sure that you're staying awesome. And as always, make sure you're staying devious. I'll see you guys soon.